So many of you will have seen the ice water bucket challenge that's going around at the moment to raise awareness for the disease known as ALS. So there's a lot of awareness as to its existence now, but I find not so much awareness as to what it actually is. So I've been nominating myself for the ice water bucket challenge, but I've decided instead of doing that, I'm going to make a video explaining a little bit more about what ALS actually is. So ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and although relatively rare, affecting only about 1 in 50,000 people, it is a horrible disease to have. Some people know it as Lou Gehrig's disease, and if you're familiar with Stephen Hawking, that's exactly what he has. Though if you think Stephen Hawking is unfortunate, he's actually one of the lucky few to have lived this long with the disease. He was diagnosed when he was 21 and is now in his 70s, where 50% of people with the disease after diagnosis only tend to live about 2 years. ALS is not contagious, but is rather transferred genetically, so people who have ALS running in their families are at a greater risk of having the disease themselves. So essentially, ALS is a degenerative disease that slowly weakens the signals that cause muscle movements. And this in turn causes muscle atrophy, which is the wasting away of muscles because they're not being used. The first muscles to be affected are generally the extremities, so hands, arms, legs, but then as the disease progresses, it begins to affect more vital muscles such as the diaphragm, which is an essential part of the respiratory system. In the later stages of ALS, the muscles in the arms and legs no longer work. They have wasted away to such an extent that the person is essentially paralysed and wheelchair bound. The muscles in the jaw also begin to deteriorate and the person slowly loses the ability to speak. Unable to communicate and no longer able to move, the person now needs to be completely cared for by someone else. This has to be one of the most tragic elements of the disease, and what's to come is even worse. This is because at the later stage of the disease, the person essentially suffocates as the muscles in their respiratory system fail. Now, there's not a lot of research into cures for ALS because given it's relatively rare, it's not financially beneficial for the drug companies. But that's why there are charities, in order to raise the funds to do the research and find a cure. Which is exactly what the ALS Association is doing, which is why I've put a link to their website down below in the description, so if you could donate money to the cause, that would be amazing. If you'd rather not, then you could share this video to raise awareness so that people who could donate money do. Hopefully this video has given you a little bit more of an insight into what ALS actually is and why raising money for the cause is so important. Thank you for watching. Bye.